Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you've not been here before and you don't know who I am, my name is Tracy Mayhew and I write contemporary romances set here in the UK and YA fantasy fiction. Now some of you may have noticed that I've had a little bit of a change up in my setup today, and I figured that seeing as this is going to be a book club video, that I would try and do those book club videos sitting in my new library. I might as well use this space, now that I have this space, to celebrate books of all kinds, which I'm really excited to bring to you and to share with you today. So, for this week's video, I'm going to be talking about... oh, by the way, if you've not seen my previous book club videos, I'm going to leave a link up in the card somewhere. So if you've not seen one, click on that link and go and check them out. And you'll see what I've been reading and what I recommend. So this week's video, I'm going to be talking about what I've been reading in January and then what I will be reading in February. So as you all know from my December book club video, I'm rereading The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. So I've already read Eragon, which I loved, and for January I read and finished Eldest, and I am currently about a third of the way maybe through, or just under a third maybe, of the third book in the series, which is Brisinga, which I will be talking about in a little while. So to start with, I'm going to talk to you about what I thought about Eldest. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, so you've got nothing to worry about with that. I don't like having spoilers myself, so I wouldn't do it to anybody else. I'm just going to put that to one side for a minute so I'm not balancing too many books. So yes, so Eldest carries on. Eragon, the first book, finished with the Battle of Tharthandor, and Eldest picks up straight after that. And it sees Eragon leave the Varden, who are sort of like going against King Galbatorix and the Empire. And he goes off to do Veldenvarden, which is the land of the elves, and he continues his training as a dragon rider, which I think is a really nice change of pace for the series in the second book, because a lot of that book focuses on Eragon's journey to become a trained dragon rider, which in the first book, in Eragon, he was just kind of feeling his way a little bit, just kind of getting his head around the idea of being a dragon rider, trying to build a relationship with Saphira, his dragon. So in this series, that relationship with Saphira continues, and he meets his mentor, who's an elf, Ovimus, and his dragon, Glader. And so him and Saphira go on these separate journeys where they start to learn how to be a better dragon for her rider and a better rider for the dragon and all this kind of stuff. So it was really interesting. And another factor I liked about Eldest, which we never got in the first book, Eragon, was that we went back to Eragon's village, Carverhall. So we stay with Roran a little bit more, who is Eragon's cousin. We learn a bit more about the villagers who Eragon grew up amongst and things like that. So that was a really interesting change of pace as well. And we see their journey and how they become more kind of warriors rather than just peace-minded, peaceful villagers. Because things happen to them that sort of make them have to change, otherwise they're going to risk their own lives by staying. So they have to, roll with the punches, so to speak, which was really good. I thought was really good character development for Roran as well. Sorry. And the twist at the end of Eldest, you just can't beat it. I knew it was coming. I always know it's coming, obviously, but I always find it interesting to see how Christopher Paolini brings that twist about. So I was really interested in that, and I really enjoyed it. Again, even though this is like my fourth or fifth time of reading it, I still enjoyed it. So I would highly recommend this series. And as I say, I am currently reading Brisinga. So this is my big read for February. Obviously, I've already started. I am, as I say, just under a third of the way through, maybe. And again, I'm really enjoying that. But I will bring you a full review of this one as I finish it next month. So I'm going to read you the blurb, as I usually do, just so that you know what the book's about. And can I just say, how wonderful are these covers? I mean, they're like the original covers. You know, they've had a rebrand since these, but I just love these covers so much. Anyway, let me read the blurb. So, oaths sworn, loyalties tested, forces collide. It's been only months since Eragon first uttered Brisinga, an ancient language term for fire. Since then, he's not only learned to create magic with words, he's challenged to his very core. Following the colossal battle against the Empire's warriors on the Burning Plains, Eragon and his dragon Saphira have narrowly escaped with their lives. Still, there is more adventure at hand for the rider and his dragon, as Eragon finds himself bound by a tangle of promises he may not be able to keep. First is Eragon's oath to his cousin Roran, to help rescue Roran's beloved from King Galbatorix's clutches, but Roran owes his loyalty to others too. The Varden are in desperate need of his talents and strength, as are the elves and dwarves. When unrest claims the rebels and danger strikes from every corner, Eragon must make choices that will take him across the Empire and beyond, choices that may lead to unimagined sacrifice. Eragon is the greatest hope to rid the land of tyranny. Can this once simple farm boy unite the rebel forces and defeat the king? So, yes, I will bring you a full review on that next month. So, look forward to that one. Keep your eye out. There we go, back on the shelf. Another book that I'm going to be reading for February, and this is something I want to do like throughout the year, is try to read maybe a productivity kind of craft book, something like that. So it's not just, so I'm reading more non-fiction this year that will help me build my business and develop my writing skills and things. And the first book that I'm starting out with is Ali Abdaal's Feel Good Productivity, How to Do More of What Matters to You. I'm about a third of the way through this. I must admit, I have been reading more fantasy than focusing on this, but I do dip into this every now and then, and I find it really, really good to just dip into and just kind of read when I feel like I'm in the mood. So it's all about how to be productive while enjoying what you do. And if you've not had a chance to check out Ali's channel, YouTube channel, please go ahead, do that. I will leave a link for that channel underneath this video. It's well worth spending a few minutes every day or whatever, just checking in with his videos. He does some really interesting stuff, and recommends a lot of books as well that I find quite interesting, and I now have sitting on my shelf that I will be showing you throughout the course of this year as well at some point when I get around to reading any of them. So yeah, I'm enjoying that, and again I will be bringing you a full review. What I might do with this one is once I finish this, I might do a video about some of my top takeaways from this book. Just so that I do a video focusing on this so that you know what it's about and how it's going to help you, hopefully, because it's helping me already, and I can't wait to share how it's helping me. But yeah, so look out for that as well. And then I've got one more book, but this is going to take a long while because this book is called The Queen of Poisons. Oh, sorry, there's a lot of glare there. Queen of Poisons by Robert Thorogood. Now, the author of this book is, if you're in the UK, I don't know if any other countries in the world get this, so if you do, let me know. There's a series in the UK called Death in Paradise, and it's basically about this English detective who gets transferred to a Caribbean island, and he has to investigate murders and things. And I really love it. My mum really loves it. We're massive, massive fans. And I think last year or the year before, there was a book out called The Marlowe Murder Club, I believe it was called. And it's about this 80-year-old lady who sets crossword puzzles. She's really into crosswords. She's really into puzzles and figuring things out. And she's a bit eccentric. She's from a little town in England called Marlowe. And there's one of her neighbours get murdered. And she sets about trying to investigate it, and along the way she picks up a couple of friends. She makes friends with a couple of villagers, and they sort of form this kind of like Marlowe Murder Club, and they investigate the murders, all, you know, to the annoyance of the police, but eventually the police do kind of help and appreciate their worth, so to speak. So yeah, they've done that one, and last year we only listened to them on audiobook, and this is why it takes quite a while, because I have a habit of falling asleep during audiobooks. So So it might take a little while than a normal book to read because I generally fall asleep, which is fine. I do eventually get to the end, and when I get to the end of the book, I will review it for you. So last year it was there was another book, the second book out, and the name escapes me for the moment. If I remember, I'll link it down below. And then this one, Queen of Poisons. This came out the 18th of January, I think. So we've only just started this, and yeah, already I've fallen asleep a couple of times. So we're not getting very far with it. But this story, The Queen of Poisons, investigates the death of a councilman in the middle of a council meeting. And the death happens quite early on. It's like first chapter, I think. So that's not really a spoiler. And so the trio of ladies are investigating that. And if you like quirky characters and quaint villages and things like that, and nosy neighbours and things, you will enjoy this. I enjoy it. And if you do have the pleasure of watching Death in Paradise and you like those sort of stories, again, this is something you need to have a look at as well, because it's along the same veins as those type of things. So I would highly recommend that. But as I say, when I finish, I will give you a bit of a rundown on that one as well. So yeah, that seems to be it. That's what I'm reading. So I'm reading Brisinga this month, Feel Good Productivity by Ali Abdaal, and Queen of Poisons by Robert Thorogood. Next month I will hopefully be reviewing Brisinga. I will hopefully bring you that video for Feel Good Productivity in the next kind of few weeks. And then I'll let you know what the Queen of Poisons is like when I eventually finish that one. But as for next month, I will bring you, I will be reading the last book in the Inheritance Cycle and some other books as well. Every month I will get closer to Murtagh. This is why I'm reading these books, and I'm getting closer to it. Right? I'm here, so I've just got one more book to read. So, and I can't wait for that book. That is my first book on my reading list once I finish the Inheritance Cycle. I'm being very dedicated at the moment, sticking with that with the rest of the series, because I want to go through it chronologically. Anyway, that's it for me this week. This week. I will be back next week with a brand new video. Until then, please hit the like button, subscribe, put that notification bell on so that you are notified when I make a new video, and I will see you next week. Bye.